So, continuing with the World Bible from the Viking Portable Library, my presentation and commentary, it was originally edited by Robert O Ballou, and we're talking from the Parsi section, and from the Pahlavi text is... oh, it's a sizable one, okay. Instructions to the priests. About the 5 dispositions of priest, and 10 admonitions with which all instruction as to religion is connected. Of those 5 dispositions, the first is innocence, the second is discrimination among thoughts, words, and deeds, to fully distinguish the particulars of destruction from indestructiveness, such as the noxious creatures from cattle, and of production from unproductiveness, such as the righteous and worthy from the wicked and unworthy. The third is authoritativeness, because that priestly master is always wiser and speaking more correctly, who is taught wisely and teaches with more correct words. The fourth is to understand and consider the ceremonial as the ceremonial of Ahura Mazda, and the essential with all goodness, beneficence, and authority, to be steadfast in his religion, and to consider the indications of protection which are established for his religion, to maintain the reverence of the luminaries prayerfully, also the reverence of the emanations from the 6 archangels, be they fire, be they earth, or be they of bodily form, and of the creatures which are formed by them, also the pure cleansing of the dead matter, menstruation, bodily refuse, and other hurtfulness. This is in order that they may be characterized and thereby constituted as better principled, more stable, and purer, and they may become less faulty. The reverence of mankind is to consider authoritatively about knowledge and property. The reverence of cattle is about fodder, little hardship, and moderate maintenance. The reverence of plants is about sowing and ripening for the food of the worthy. The ceremony, which is glorifying all the sacred beings, praises the luminaries and the worldly creations improperly, and is antagonistic to them, because complete glorification is proper through complete recitation of the ritual, and the ceremonial of any one, whatever, is his own proper duty professionally, so long as it is possible to keep proceeding with very little sinfulness. The 5th is to struggle prayerfully, day and night, with your own fiend, and all life long not to depart from steadfastness, nor allow your proper duty to go out of your hands. And the first of those 10 admonitions is to proceed with good repute, for the sake of occasioning approving remarks as to the good repute of your own guardian and teacher, high priest, and master. The second is to become awfully refraining from evil, repute for the sake of evil, repute not according to relations and guardians. The third is not to beat your own teacher with a snatched-up stick, and not to bring scandal upon his name, for the sake of annoying him, by uttering that which was not heard from your own teacher. The fourth is that whatever is taught liberally by your own teacher, you have to deliver back to the worthy, for the sake of not extorting a declaration of renown from the righteous. The 5th is that the reward of doers of good works and the punishment of criminals have to be established by law for the sake of progress. The 6th is to keep the way of the good open to your house for the sake of making righteousness welcome in your own abode. The 7th is that, for the sake of not developing the fiend insensibly in your reason, you are not to keep it with the religion of the good, nor to remain in impenitence of sin. The 8th is that for the sake of severing the fiend from your reason, you have to force malice away from your thoughts, and to become quickly repentant of sin. The ninth is to fully understand the forward movement of the religion, also to keep the advancing of the religion further towards, to seek your share of duty therein. And on a backwards movement, when the adversary happens to the religion, to have the religion back again, and to keep your body in the countenance of religion. The 10th is that there is to be a period of obedience towards the ruler and priestly authority, the high priesthood of the righteous man. Is, the next section. For what purpose is a righteous man created for the world, and in what manner is it necessary for him to exist in the world? When the persistent one accomplished that most perfect and wholly miraculous creation of the Lord, and his unwavering look, he made a spirit of observant temperament, which was the necessary soul, the virtuous lord of the body, moving into the world, and animating life, the preserving guardian spirit, the acquiring intellect, the protecting understanding, the deciding wisdom, the demeanor which is itself a physician, the impelling strength, the eye for what is seen, the ear for what is heard, the nose for what is smelt, the mouth for recognizing flavor, the body for approaching the assembly of the righteous, the heart for thinking, the tongue for speaking, the hand for working, the foot for walking, these which make life comfortable, these which are developments in creating, these which are to join the body, these which are to be considered perfected, are urged on by him continuously, and the means of industry of the original body are arranged advisedly. Now, okay, we know the heart doesn't... Actually, there's a consciousness of the different centers, but what would it mean to actually see the brain as through the heart, And by proper regulation and the recompense of good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, he announced and adorned conspicuous, patient, and virtuous conduct, and that procurer of the indispensable did not forget to keep men in his own true service and proper bounds, the supreme authority of the Creator. And man became a pure glorifier and a pure praiser of that all good friend, through the process which is his wish, because pure friendship arises from sure meditation on every virtue, and from its existence no harm, whatever arose. Pure glorifying arises from glorifying every goodness, and from its existence no vileness, whatever arose. And pure praising arises from all prosperity, and from its existence no distress, whatever arose. A righteous man is the creature by whom is accepted that occupation which is provided for him, and is fully watchful in the world, so that he will not be deceived by the rapacious fiend, the Chinvad Bridge. How are the Chinvad Bridge, the Deity Peak, and the path of the righteous and the wicked? How are they when one is righteous, and how when one is wicked? The reply is this, that thus the high priest have said, that Deity Peak is in Aryana Vago, in the middle of the world. Reaching into the vicinity of that peak is that beam-shaped spirit, the Chinvad Bridge, which is thrown across from the Albur's enclosure back to the Deity Peak. As it were, that bridge is like a beam of many sides, of whose edges are some which are broad, and there are some which are thin and sharp. Its broad sides are so large that its width is 27 reeds, and its sharp sides are so contracted that its thinness is like the edge of a razor. And when the souls of the righteous and the wicked arrive, it turns to that side which is suitable for their necessities, through the great glory of the Creator, and the command of Him who takes the just account. Moreover, the bridge becomes a broad bridge for the righteous, as much as the height of 9 spheres, and the length of those which they carry is each separated 3 reeds, and it becomes like a narrow bridge for the wicked, even unto a resemblance of the edge of a razor. And he who is of the righteous passes over the bridge, and a worldly similitude of the pleasantness of his path upon it is when thou shalt eagerly and unweariedly walk in the golden golden-colored spring, and with the gallant body and the sweet-scented blossom in the pleasant skin of that maiden spirit. As he places a footstep on that bridge on account of affliction, and its sharpness falls from the middle of the bridge, and rolls over head foremost, and the unpleasantness of his path to hell is in similitude such as the worldly one in the midst of that stinking and dying existence, there where numbers of the sharp-pointed darts are planted out and birded and point upwards. The nature of heaven is the next part. How are the nature of heaven, and the comfort of the pleasure which are in heaven? The reply is this, that it is lofty, exalted, and supreme, most brilliant, most fragrant, and most pure, most supplied with beautiful existences, most desirable and most good, and the place and abode of the sacred beings. In it are all comfort, pleasure, joy, happiness, and welfare, more and better even than the greatest and supremest welfare and pleasure in the world. And there is no want, pain, distress, or discomfort whatever in it, and its pleasantness and the welfare of the angels are from that constantly beneficial place, the full and undiminished space, the good and boundless world, and the freedom of the heavenly from danger and evil in heaven is like unto their freedom from disturbance, and the coming of the good angels is like unto the heavenly ones' own good works provided. This prosperity and welfare of the spiritual existence is more than that of the world, as much as that which is unlimited and everlasting is more than that which is limited and demoniacal. The nature of hell is the next section. How are the nature of hell, and the pain, discomfort, punishment, and stench of hell? The reply is this, that it is sunken, deep, and descending, most dark, most stinking, and most terrible, most supplied with wretched existences, and most bad, the place and cave of the demons and fiends, and in it is no comfort, pleasantness, or joy whatever, but in it are all stench, filth, pain, punishment, distress, profound evil, and discomfort, and there is no resemblance of it whatever to worldly stench, filthiness, pain, and evil, and since there is no resemblance of the mixed evil of the world to that which is its sole indicating good, there is also a deviation of it from the origin and abode of evil. And so much more grievous is the evil in hell than even the most grievous evil on earth. And the greatest of the spiritual existence is more than that of the world. Oh, as the greatness of the spiritual existence is more than that of the world, and nor grievous is the terror of the punishment on the soul than that of the vileness of the demons on the body. And the punishment on the soul is from those whose abode it has become, from the demons and darkness, a likeness of that evil to hell, the head of whom is Ahriman the deadly. And the words of that expressive utterance of the high priest are these, that where there is a fear of every other thing, it is more than the thing itself, but hell is a thing worse than the fear of it. The two regions. I keep messing that one up, I don't know why. It is in Scripture thus declared that light was above the darkness below, and between these two was open space. Ahura Mazda was in the light, and Ahriman in the darkness. Ahura Mazda was aware of the existence of Ahriman, and of his coming for strife. Ahriman was not aware of the existence of light and of Ahura Mazda. It happened to Ahriman in the gloom and darkness that he was walking humbly on the borders and meditating other things. He came up to the top, and a ray of light was seen by him, and because of its antagonistic nature to him, he strove that he might reach it, so that it might also be within his absolute power. And as he came forth to the boundary, accompanied by certain others, Ahura Mazda came forth to the struggle for keeping Ahriman away from his territory. And he did it through pure words, confounding witchcraft, and cast him back to gloom. Yeah, that's not quite translated right, but you get the point that, God manipulated the power to put him down, which harkens to names like Diabolos, separate from God, Iblis, the spirit of hope, the gloom and the darkness, Azazel, completely cut off by the words that send him away. Anyways, I could go on. The resurrection Zarathustra asked of Ahura Mazda thus, whence does a body form again, which the wind has carried and the water conveyed? And how does the resurrection occur? Ahura Mazda answered thus, when through me the sky arose from the substance of the ruby, without columns, on the spiritual support of far compassed light. When through me the earth arose, which bore the material life, and there is no maintainer of the worldly creation but it, when by me the sun and the moon and the stars were conducted in the firmament of luminous bodies, and when by me corn was created, so that scattered about in the earth it grew again and returned with increase. When by me colors of various kinds were created in plants. When by me fire was created in plants, and other things without combustion. When by me a son was created and fashioned in the womb of a mother, and the structure severally of the skin, nails, blood, feet, eyes, ears, and other things was produced. When by me legs were created for the water, so that it flows away, and the cloud was created which carries the water of the world, and rains there where it has a purpose. When by me the air was created which conveys in one's eyesight, through the strength of the wind, lowermost, upward according to its will, and one is not able to grasp it with the hand outstretched. Each one of them, when created by me, was herein more difficult than causing the resurrection, for it is an assistance to me in the resurrection that they exist, but when they were formed, it was not forming the future out of the past. Observe that, when that which was not then produced? Why is it not possible to produce again that which was? For at that time one will demand the bone from the spirit of the earth, the blood from the water, the hair from the plants, and the life from fire, since they were delivered to them in the original creation. First, the bones of the Geomard are roused up, then those of Mashia and Mashioi, then those of the rest of mankind in the 57 years of the Shoshyans. They prepare all the dead, and all men stand up, whatever is righteous and whatever is wicked, every human creature. They rouse up from the spot where its life departs. Afterwards, when all material living beings assume again their bodies and forms, then they assign them a single class. Out of light accompanying the sun, one half will be for Geomard, and one half will give enlightenment among the rest of men, so that the soul and body will know that this is my Father. You know, the soul and the body are connected to each other. And this is my mother, and this is my brother. Oh, I spoke too soon. Anyways. No, that this is my father, and this is my mother, and this is my brother, and this is my wife, and these are some of my nearest relations. Then is the assembly of the Sadvastaran, where all mankind will stand at this time. In that assembly, everyone sees his own good deeds and his own evil deeds, and then in that assembly, a wicked man becomes as conspicuous as a white sheep among those which are black. Afterwards, they set the righteous man apart from the wicked, and then the righteous is for heaven, and they cast the wicked back to hell. The 3 days and 3 nights they inflict punishment bodily in hell. Then he beholds bodily those 3 days happiness in heaven. As it says that on the day when the righteous man is parted from the wicked, the tears of every one thereupon run down unto his legs. Afterwards, the fire and halo melt the metal of the Shat Veiro in the hills and mountains, and it remains on this earth like a river. Then all men will pass into that melted metal, and will become pure. And when one is righteous, then it seems to him like though he walks continually in warm milk. But when wicked, then it seems to him in such manner as though in the world he walks constantly in melted metal. Afterwards, with the greatest affliction, all men come together. Father and son and brother and friend ask one another thus: Where hast thou been these many years? And what was the judgment upon thy soul? Hast thou been righteous or wicked? All men become of one voice and administer loud praise to Ahura Mazda and the archangels. Ahura Mazda completes his work at that time, and the creatures become so that it is not necessary to make any effort about them.